And blessings. Welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today's read was out of 1 Kings chapters 20 and 21. And what an interesting story. What an interesting read. And just for me personally, what an interesting takeaway that I'm going to share with you that I got from this message. At first, it is a very dramatic story. There's a lot going on. There's this conspiracy to commit murder. There's a war before that, actually two wars, and a great victory comes out of the wars. There's just so much going on with Ahab and Jezebel, and two, to me, big characters in the Bible, just as far as interesting reads. But it wasn't till I got down to the end, finished all my reading, looked some stuff up. I actually had one direction I thought I was going to go with this from one of the very last verses in chapter 21, but I prayed and spent some time in prayer and just with some of the external things in my own personal life that are going on. I really feel like God revealed the very last section of this to me, not the one that I was going to present, but something totally different. And I was just downright confused by it. And I want to explain why. Because 20 and 21, we're talking about King Ahab. And to me, really, the coolest figure in this whole story is Elijah. It's not Ahab, it's not Jezebel, it's not the war, it's not Nabal and his garden. Although that's really cool. And I've got a little time. Look at Nabal and his garden. Um, Ahab and Jezebel basically kill him for this garden. Jezebel leads Ahab in this sin. So this woman leads a man in a sin over a garden. Does that sound familiar? It kind of led me down a path to comparing some things with Adam and Eve in the garden. But anyway, that's something for your own personal study, because what God showed me through this, 1 Kings 21. Well, let me back up. I had to go a day or two's read ago to 16:30, where it says, Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord more than all who were before him. So Ahab does evil things. Then in 1633, Ahab also made Asherah, which was an idol, basically, that people would go to and worship. Thus Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel than all the kings of Israel who were before him. Make no mistake about it, Ahab did a lot of things, and like it says here, to provoke the Lord. It wasn't just evil things that he did, like murdering this guy who owned a garden, but these were some things directed at God, just worship of a different God, just absolute rebellion. So when we get down to 1 Kings 21 verses 25 through 29, it says, Surely there was no one like Ahab, who sold himself to do evil in the sight of the Lord, because Jezebel his wife incited him. He acted very abominably in following idols, according to all that the Amorites had done, whom the Lord cast out before the sons of Israel. It came about when Ahab heard these words that he tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and fasted. And he lay in sackcloth and went about despondently. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Do you see how Abel has humbled himself before me? Because he has humbled himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his day, but I will bring the evil upon his house in his son's day. Now, reading this, my thought was, wait a minute, we've got this guy who's done so much evil, not just against the people of Israel, but against God himself. In this righteous indignation of he deserves to be punished. And this act of humility, and he humbled himself before God, and all of a sudden God was compassionate on him. just like that. All the sins and all the things that he had done up to this point, he humbled himself before God, and God said, okay, he's still my child. I still love him, and I'm not gonna carry out my wrath on him. That is grace. That's what grace is. God gives out his loving kindness on us when we absolutely do not deserve it. Do we overlook this quality of humility? Do we overlook the importance of it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, God doesn't. And it shows us in this lesson today. I hope you'll think about humility. I hope you'll humble yourself before the Lord. I hope you look for his grace in all that we've done. Tomorrow we're in 1 Kings 22, verses 1 through 40, and 2 Chronicles 18. Think about humility. All right? You guys be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.